Have you ever thought that your anxiety and overthinking could be your superpower? Now, I know it's not a popular outlook, right? But that's what I think is wrong with what everybody else is saying. In today's video, we're going to go over systems, methods, motivations, and case studies on why and how you can transform your anxiety and overthinking into a superpower. Now, first off, what is overthinking? According to GoodRx, overthinking is when your thoughts and worries circle in an endless loop instead of preparing you for the next steps. Overthinking usually leads to inaction because it causes you to become overwhelmed by fear. Overthinking can be an early indicator or symptom of depression, anxiety, and other mental health conditions. Now, notice they say conditions, they don't say problems, right? And I like that because I think the big problem is treating it as a problem, right? Or the word disorder in our minds, most people, is synonymous with broken, right? And self-messaging, right? Your unconscious mind speaking to your conscious mind. Anything the unconscious mind says to the conscious mind believes to be true. And therefore, I want to just inject a tip, something that you need to think about, a slight perception shift, right? Have you ever heard the saying, success is not final, failure is not fatal? See, that's the difference, right? That small shift, right? Because most of us think of success as a destination. And normally we're thinking of it as when I get there, then I get to be happy, right? And if we fail at something, we think failure is the end of the road as well, right? And that's not really the case. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. If you woke up this morning, you're blessed because you have a choice and a chance to make changes. And it's very easy to get caught up in the mundane world and not remember that simple blessing. It's very easy to get caught up in the complaints of what I don't have and the woe is me type of thought process, rather than what am I thankful for? What am I grateful for? What do I have? So the first tip is to start off each day with gratitude. Look for something. And the first thing that's there every day, which is why you're going to hear me say this so many times over and over again. If you woke up this morning, you're blessed. You already know. So you got one, right? If you woke up this morning, you got breath in your lungs. If you woke up this morning, you got a chance to make a change. Hopefully, if you woke up this morning, there was a roof over your head, so on and so forth, right? We can think of tons of things, right? You probably got your limbs, you know what I mean? Right now, if you're viewing this video, you've got some way to get online, right? We've got tons of things. But going back to these small perception shifts, right? Disorder equaling broken, right? Versus different, right? Broken, well, disorder, broken, irreparable, right? Different, good, vantage point for the W, right? And if this is valuable so far, hit that like button. Make sure that this gets to more people, right? Let's work the YouTube algorithm, okay? Another thing, have you ever heard of the book Atomic Habits by James Clear? What it speaks of is how tiny changes added up over time make tremendous results, right? Tiny changes like we just spoke of, right? So here's the thing. Reframing anxiety and overthinking as a superpower might sound crazy to you so far still, right? But reframing anxiety and overthinking as a superpower is no different than making a 7-degree nose shift on a flight from California to Washington. If you made that 7-degree nose shift on that flight and followed the exact same trajectory, that plane would, instead of landing in Washington, land in New York City. So anxiety and overthinking can be reframed with that same 7-degree shift as a heightened sense of awareness and a keen eye for detail. That's exactly what's going on. So I want you to remember, on this journey to taking control of your superpower and not letting it slip across that thin line into anxiety, but instead allowing it to be your superpower, that perception is reality. It all starts with your thoughts. Your thoughts equal your habits equal your actions equal your results, and it's a cycle. And we never get a different result if we don't change one of these steps along the way, right? Now, another thing that you can easily, that I know I did, pick up in that book, Atomic Habits, is how they stressed the importance of systems over goals. It stated that we don't rise to our goals, but instead we fall to our systems. In other words, when we're trying to make a change within this cycle, we need to implement some systems to create like a fail-safe so that we make a change in the loop, therefore we change the results. Because we don't want to go through another day with the anxiety and overthinking, causing inaction where we can't be productive, right? And I know because I've gone through it. So action tip number 1, I've already given you a few, but I'm going to call this action tip number 1. Jotting down your thoughts, okay? Jotting down your thoughts. Because again, we'll go back to the definition. Overthinking is when your thoughts and worries circle in an endless loop instead of preparing you for the next steps. And overthinking usually leads to inaction, right? So if you start jotting down your thoughts and creating to-do lists as a habit, well, that's a change in that circle, okay? Creating a new habit creates new actions, creates new results. And that comes from the thought, understanding that this is possible, right? So when we want to make a new habit, we want to make it easy and pleasurable, right? Otherwise, if we make it the opposite, we know it's not going to happen. So how do we make it easy and pleasurable? Simple. Keep a book close to the bed. And why did I say jot down thoughts and create to-do lists? Because we want to make it pleasurable. If you just jot down your thoughts, well, you're not taking any action. If you don't take any action, you never get a quick win. If you never get a quick win, you never get an endorphin hit. We want to make it easy and pleasurable. So keep a notebook close to the bed. Start making to-do lists, okay? And keeping it close to the bed or close to your desk is one way of doing it. Another way, well, you're not going to be by your bed and by your desk all day long. I use notes on my iPhone when I'm away from home. And if I'm driving, I just speak to Siri and tell it to make a note, right? Or Google, depending on whether you're iPhone or Android, right? But this can be done, okay? Again, this book that I keep referencing here, Atomic Habits, it goes way more in depth how to create new habits. The link is in the description so that you can fully gain access to the systems and tips that James Clear put into the book. And another pro tip here, Audible. You can read while working out. You can read while driving, okay? And another action tip, if you're not working out at all yet, start working out. Motion creates emotion. When you exercise, not only does it create endorphins naturally from your body, but it continues to dose endorphins throughout the day, putting you in a better mood. And the more elevated your mood, we already know. We've already repaired these things, okay? So again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you know somebody who this would be helpful for. We do drop videos weekly, so make sure you do subscribe to help you be more mindful, less anxious, and more productive. And remember, it's Long Game Mo. And remember, Mo stands for Mindset Over Everything. You already know. Peace and love. I'm out.